buddy, this one right here, deep book. KSK book review, Conspiracies, Unraveling the Assassination of Malcolm X by Bubba Zakakunda. Man, now this book right here, this book right here is super, super deep. He's a professor out here in Maryland. So, I went in on this book. I read this years ago. This was years ago when this came out. And I read this one. But with this one, he goes over the different thoughts, conspiracies of the Malcolm X assassination from the FBI, the Nation of Islam, and so forth. United States involvement when he went over to Mecca, how they followed him, and so forth. He even go into actually the guys who came after Malcolm X, with the Black Panthers. He went into that whole Fred Hampton, and actually I knew about Fred Hampton before that book, but the way that he broke it down, the way that they, went in there and they just shot that room up like that, and the way he explained it, what Fred Hampton was doing and how dangerous Fred Hampton was, because he was just giving the people that truth. He was just giving them that real, that with no fear, man. Fred Hampton was strong, and then he just had so many soldiers underneath him. Yeah, he was just, he was it. He was it. He was in the right city, the right time, and they did not want him turning all those ex-gangbangers and, and thugs and all that up there in Chicago, into killers, man. So, for killers for the cause, or protesters, or soldiers. Let's say soldiers for the cause. Let's say that. But anyway, he went over that. But yeah, but with this, he broke down a lot of how the FBI followed Malcolm X, how they bugged him, how they went about looking, just on him every day. They have so much paperwork on Malcolm X and the things that he did, that you would wonder, how can they be following him every day, recording him every day, and then the one day that he gave a huge speech in Audubon, that they wasn't there, nobody was there when he gave that speech, nobody saw, so like I said, that situation is a little similar to like with Pac, even with Big. They following Tupac everywhere. Pac on fire in the country, #1 rapper, all that stuff. Biggie on fire, #1, and then the times they get shot, no FBI around at all, no police. Both times is never any. So you start seeing a certain theme. I think if you study history and you really study history and you start reading it, because all the information is, most of the time somebody said it already, it's just buried in a book. And because nobody don't really want to read books no more, they rely on the news, radio, YouTube, and stuff like that. They don't want to read it for themselves. The information is buried in a book. It's the truth is right there. So anyway, if you start reading certain things, you're like, wait a minute, this situation kind of sounds familiar to what happened a few years ago, and even sound familiar, well, it just happened just recently. Like, it just keep being the same theme over and over again. You're like, wait a minute now. So then you just start connecting the dots. I feel, at least I do, you just start connecting the dots. And I feel like it's a lot of people that connect dots out here. They just aren't on the news, and they just aren't super popular, so you don't hear from them. But that's why, as I say, one of the most dangerous things is somebody that just keep reading. There's some people out here that I talk to. Let me say it this way: it's people that I talk to, communicate with, that they reading like they reading all the time, and they reading all kind of books, and they got a lot of information. And they say, and they know that that information, there's certain books that you actually aren't supposed to be reading or shouldn't be reading, because it's real information in there. And it's not so much that one piece of information is so dangerous in a book. When it gets dangerous is when that information is given to the right person, and that person can dissect that information because they have other information in their head that they can weigh against and say, wait a minute, this, you know, just like like mathematically, if 1 + 1 = 2, then actually in your brain automatically starts doing the math. I don't know what it is, but it's something, something happens where it just automatically do the math, and you can decode what that, how did we get to 2? How do we get here? You know this, you know 1. Even if you, like, it's like if you got, you know, you looking at the end result. Let's just use the math. And it's 9 at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, it's 9 at the end. You know what I'm saying? You're there, you know, you're there with 9. And then if you're there with 9, you know, then it's like, how do we even get to, you know, how you know, we got 1. We know the end result is 9. How do we get there? So you know that it's 8. Your brain will do that math for you. Or if it's this, it's that. So, yeah, whatever it may be, your brain will figure it out. So, but anyway, I hope I made that point. I hope I made some sense. But anyway, but that's what I felt like that Baba Kondo did. He figured it out. He put it together. And there's other people out here like that. But it's just so known. It's just so known that I feel like that everybody, well, you know, everybody should kind of be able to figure it out. But then again, like, you know, it's like you're only going to figure it out if you're able to put it together. If nobody ever taught you the math, or you don't know the math, then there's no way you can figure it out. You can't do algebra, you know, with just knowing how to add. So I'll leave it there. You're only going to get it from, you know, being able to, from reading and studying at a higher level. And the information is there. He'll put it there, but it's in plain sight. That's what I feel like he did. But it's for people who study already and read up on other stuff. If you study on other stuff and read up on other stuff, you'll be able to put it together. What else? He went into the stuff with the Nation of Islam as well. You know, as far as the conspiracy theories, as far as guys, because it was guys in the Nation of Islam who absolutely, you know, wanted Malcolm killed. You know, rather if they actually pulled the trigger. Was it FBI involved? It's facts to show that. Was it Muslim brothers involved? It's facts to show that. You know, they, you know, in jail now for being a part of it. But, you know, it's just something, you know, to keep in mind, you know, when it comes to dealing with a lot of this out here. So, but it's a good book. Like I said, it's not for everybody. So if you're somebody that, you know, don't really have an open mind to certain things, I would, you know, it's not for everybody. But this is a book for anybody who studies Malcolm X, studies the Nation of Islam. Pick up his book. Pick his book up. You'll get another perspective. And I've been studying this, you know, this stuff for quite a while now. Where I've heard a lot of different perspectives on it, and you start to know what's real, what's not, what's fact, what's fiction, what adds up, what doesn't. So there you go. So again, Baba Kondo, you know, Maryland, professor in Maryland. Definitely pick up his book. It's an oldie but goodie. I don't know where you could get it. You got to be on Amazon somewhere. If not, you check it out on eBay. All right. KSK Book Review. Please share. Please subscribe. Thanks.